Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. This is your host, Kieron Stewart, and we have a full panel in tonight. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you've had a good one. Thank you for joining us. And new addition, Mike. The mic's not for show anymore. It's actually working, I think. I hope. I feel like it is. I feel like I can hear it. Sound. Oh, when we've lost someone, Mike's so good. It drops someone out. Where's Jerome gone? Where are you hiding, Jerome? He's gone a bit shy, but he'll be back. Don't worry. How is everyone doing tonight?
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Good. We've got a smiling Arsenal pass tonight. Happy as Harry after a 3-1 victory against Chelsea. To my right, I've got Simon. How are you doing, Simon?
Yep, evening everyone.
All right. And down on my bottom left, I've got Steve K.A.D. and Steve.
Good evening, everybody.
And on the bottom right, I've got Nathan Ellett. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm great, thanks. I'm great. Hope everyone else is good.
And we will be having Jerome Marks, the voice, joining us. But as I said, there's probably a few technical difficulties. He's saying there's that wrong with his mic. There is never anything wrong with the voice, so I'm not having it. But we will get him back on as soon as possible. Thank you. What's the comment section saying? What's the comment section? Bonjour, Phoenix Football. How you doing? Bonjour. Bonsoir. Je m'appelle. We've got 51 people joining us already. Boom. Obviously, bored for the Christmas. But we're here to talk about football. We've got Q&A session. We're going to ask each other questions. We've got a quick fire round. We're obviously going to do United chat, get a little catch up with Nathan, see what's going on with Man United, and we've got the regular, the Guardian Top 60, and of course, the well-renowned, the world-famous Transfer Roundup. All right, let's kick the show on. Any Arsenal transfer news? Well, give us a second. Nicholas Pep 199. You can answer. We're gonna have a little chance. Your chance at asking some questions in a bit. First of all, we're gonna have a little bit of United chat with the Duke. How you doing, Nathan?
Doing great as usual. Great, very good.
Hands up behind your head as well. Like, you're happy. That is happy.
Oh, it's feeling good. It's feeling good.
Wait till February.
Well, we will see. Man United since the last time we spoke. Was it?
We sit in the cup, Carabao, and obviously,
yes, it was 2-0 win against Everton. Left it late. Let's start off with that one. 2-0 win against Everton. There could have been 4 or 5 goals in that first half. You must have been thinking towards the end of that game that you would be missing them chances.
Yeah, it was one of them games where we totally bossed it first 20, 25 minutes, and I was thinking, man, if we don't score a goal here, it's one of them games where they can get that one chance and get a goal and win it. I was thinking, just please, let's just make sure we obviously make the performance count. And we did. And obviously when Richarlison came off, I knew it was, with Richarlison up front with Calvert-Lewin, they're both very, very difficult to stop. And when one of them out, it's a lot easier, especially obviously, like I said, with one of them playing, it's a lot easier. So especially when you got Bailly playing as well, like I was thinking, so happy to see him in there. Tuanzebe came in. They just made us look a lot more assured at the back for me. Pace-wise, never going to get done so easy. And then obviously, the other side of it, they're pretty much the same when it comes to everything in front of them anyway. So I was really, really happy that obviously Cavani comes out and shows his magic, shows why we brought him in, why he's a world-class striker, why he's always scored plenty of goals wherever he's been. And he went and done it again, and a little bit of magic pulled it out, and then it opened things up, and obviously we had chance after chance. I think we had about chances in 3 minutes.
Even at the end, before you got that last goal, Rashford had a one-on-one, and then Martial put it in afterwards, but sealed it off with a 2-0 victory.
Lovely to win that game. I was just really happy because I like to tweet about how we're playing, even if the score changes. And I was tweeting, look, this is what I want to see. We were whipping balls in from left and from the right in the first 25 minutes. If we can play like that for 90 minutes, that's us. That's us, and I'll be happy, whatever the result.
All right. And then followed that up with a 2-2 draw, taking a 2-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, and then losing it at the end as an own goal. Bit of a sore one.
Yeah, it hurt because obviously getting ahead, you think that we can hold it. But Leicester are a good side. They're always dangerous in attack. To be fair, I think we deserve to have more, or maybe we could have had more. But it was a game where I'm not too upset because we did play well. We did look like the better side. We did have the better chances. We should have been more clinical. We should, that's the one thing where you say if you had a Haaland or a Kane up there, that's a goal, another goal, and we've won that game. But obviously, we're going to miss a few more chances than usual. But again, no complaints. Played good football. Should have won, could have won, didn't win. Got a draw in the end. In the end of it, Liverpool have gone and drawn today against West Brom. So you can't be too upset. At the end of the week, we've ended up with a draw against a good side like Leicester, and Liverpool have gone and dropped points as well. So I'm quite happy.
And still in the contention for the title push, obviously, as well. Exactly. Things could be getting interesting after January, but we will see. Thank you very much for that, Nathan. We're going to go straight into the quick fire round now. This is everyone's chance to get put a question anyone's way. Like anyone's way. You got a question for Simon?
Yeah.
Ask him a question. Oh, hey, he's ready. He's ready. Simon.
Wait.
Hey, I only told you about this yesterday. How many questions you got? He's ready.
My head this second. Yeah. That was all.
He's ready. That's why you've upset him, you side. There we go. All right. Steve, you got questions? Jerome, you got questions? We're going to be hitting each other up with some questions. Quick fire. 2 minutes to answer whatever question it is. We're going to start off, seeing as Nathan was so enthusiastic with it. I'm going to start off with you, Nathan.
Question for five.
All right, let's go.
I hear that you're obviously not happy with Arsenal at the minute, and obviously things haven't been going well up until last game. But tell me, the question is, when you do well, how come you're still upset? That's the question. How can you be still upset after a performance like that?
Great question.
Not everybody, mate. Not everybody.
Steve's there. Not everyone.
No, this was to Simon.
Because basically, you see what we did yesterday with Chelsea. Chelsea yesterday, let's be admit, I watched the game. I didn't watch it live. But they were rubbish, Chelsea. They turned up on 85 minutes. But then what swung the game for us as well is Martinelli going off and then basically making substitutions. The game swung in my saying basically towards Chelsea. But why can we not start like that against your Burnley, against your Southampton, even Tottenham away? Everyone thinks that Tottenham away is like a really hard place to go to get a result out. It's not at all. So with Arsenal, I've been asking for the young kids. I've been asking for Smith Rowe, been asking for Balogun, I've been asking for Maitland-Niles and all them lot to start. And it just gives us a whole different dimension, basically, how to play. Martinelli constantly pressed Chelsea, didn't give them no space whatsoever. Smith Rowe finding pockets to where Saka, when he plays in the midfield, doesn't quite do. Saka took the game as well on the wing, literally just seeing it, absolutely ended Reece James. Ended his career in both halves. Kieron Tierney, captain, get it done now. And then I thought Bellerin, he gets a lot of hate, Bellerin, and I said the same thing as well. I'll admit it in the chat. Bellerin captain, it was like Scooby Doo. Literally, but he did well. He did all right, Bellerin. But I think what won that game for us against Chelsea was our fullbacks, was Kieron Tierney and Bellerin just going forward, coming back. And then you add Thomas Partey to that midfield as well. We still need to go out and get someone to put next to Thomas Partey. And Aubameyang weren't even on the pitch. I thought Lacazette was all right. Looked like he didn't really on it. Looked like he didn't even want to be there, to be honest.
Stop. He didn't even answer your question. He didn't even answer your question. He just rambling on. Didn't even answer your question. Who's next? Who's next? Come on, Jerome, you're next.
Oh,
Who are you asking a question for?
There's a question for Simon.
yeah. Hey, for Nathan, for Mr. Ellington. Well, I'll ask this one. So it's a bit more serious than the last one. I do apologise in advance.
There you go.
But Nathan, do you think there's too much importance given to stats these days in football?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Top my question.
To be fair, in the game, you're right. I think there probably is too much importance given to stats, but it does have some kind of relevance in football, obviously. And I think when you watch basketball, I watch basketball a lot, and they look at stats so much that they buy players just off stats. And sometimes it's the stuff that you can't see that players obviously do that makes them worth something. So it's not always about stats. It's not always about how many completed passes, as you can see when it comes to people like Bruno. You know, he'll get on the ball, he'll try 20 passes, 10 of them get cut out, and then it looks like he's not keeping the ball well. Now that's the thing. You've got to watch football and just be a football brain. There's a place for it. But I don't think it's the be-all and end-all where you just go by stats on everything. It just wouldn't work. And it's about bringing the two together, having someone who knows their football and having the stats that really matter, like shots, like shots per goal. How many shots do you need before you get a goal? If you've got that kind of ratio, that's very good. Or how much you've ran. Sometimes it's not even how much you've ran because you've got the Berbatovs as well. And you've got the other types of players. So, again, it's not always how much you've run again. So it's just how you want to do it. You've got to figure out a best way to mesh the two together and obviously use them correctly instead of just using them as black and white. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. And, it has its place. But, again, you have to use it with the experience of knowledge of football.
Nice.
All right. Well answered. All right. Steve, I can see you racking your brains right now. You're ready. Who's your question for?
To you?
Why? Yoy. Here we go. I'm sweating.
Do Arsenal fans owe Wenger, Emery, Lampard and Arteta a massive apology?
Yes. Yes. I think they do. I think the level of disrespect that Arsene Wenger got towards the end was actually disgusting. Talk of get out of my club, you're a dinosaur, you has been, you're past it. All that sort of talk was so flippant and easy to just roll off people's tongue like they weren't taking any notice of what this guy done previously. And to say that you shouldn't and it's been and done and past it is a joke. It shows what kind of people they are, that they would truly forget anything that, especially Arsene Wenger, done in his time at Arsenal and even for English football as it is. And it's no wonder he got the leeway that he did towards the end of his career. The Emery one, look, I wasn't Emery's biggest fan. I wasn't. And towards the end, I had said I was done with him. But that was purely based on the fact that I wasn't his biggest fan, probably quite early doors. But there was never once that I was giving it the old Emery out, enemy this. I don't get into that. I don't get into that, none of that rubbish. I still support the team because he's part of the team. You still want the team to do well. Not wanting Emery there would have only been for selfish reasons. And as long as he's winning, that's the most important thing. The thing that got me with Emery is people using the way he speaks to take the mick out of him in the end. His speech impediment. What's that got to do with him as a manager? It's disgraceful. And a lot of football fans should look at themselves for doing things like that in general. Just the way they speak about players, because they're people. And they speak about them like they're nothing. Ljungberg, to be fair, Ljungberg, he got respect because it's still Ljungberg. I feel you. I do this. I do this on a daily basis. I get told to shut up all the time.
He's got a mirror in front of him so he can see exactly.
That's good.
Good answer. Good
Thank
answer.
you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Steve, for getting me involved there. All right.
Mine.
Simon, you're next. Go on.
Question for Nathan. When you signed Bruno Fernandes last January, did you think that he would hit the ground running as quick as he has, or did you think he'd take time to adjust? Because you look at Kai Havertz and you look at Timo Werner and the stick that those two guys are getting. But Bruno's come in with Man United and under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and just like that.
Yeah, to be fair, looking at his stats where he's been and where he'd been before in Italy, he'd got the hard, the toughness in Italy. He'd come back, he's gone to Portugal, and he's scoring goals for fun. Like the goals that he was scoring, when I watch a player, I look for what kind of goals they'll score and if they'd be able to do it in this league as well. So when I saw what he was doing, I realised he could bring that to England and do it straight away. But again, you never know, do you, until they come. But for me, I was really expecting that he was going to come, but not do what he's done. Like he's gone beyond where I think that where I thought he would be. I thought at least, score a few less goals than in Portugal, But he's come on and he's scored loads and he's assisted so many. It's like every game he's assisting or scoring. So he's just proved that he can continue doing what he's doing. I think he could do this in every league. The type of finishing, the type of brain he's got. The minute he came, played against Wolves, and I just saw he was thinking 10 steps ahead of everyone else straight away.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to drag everyone else into thinking that way. And it's going to open up the dimension, the same kind of thing that Mata has, but with more pace about him and with more ability to shoot from further. So I knew that, wow, this is going to be something special. So yeah, it was. If you look at it that way, I thought he was going to do really well straight away, but not this well. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm about to say, because it is crazy. 28 games, 18 goals and 13 assists.
Yeah, no,
it's just mad.
It's
just mad.
It's silly stats. No wonder they're looking to offer him a new contract to tie him down for a longer term, because they're just like, you would be worried that any club can come in out of nowhere.
Yeah, because I remember his first game against Wolves at Old Trafford, and he's looking at Pereira, and he's like, "What are you doing there when you should be there, and you should be here, and you should be there?" And it's like he's the organizer in midfield.
You love that. All right. My question. I've got a question.
Oh, is it yours?
Yeah. I've got a question for Jerome.
Oh.
Jerome, out of all the players you've spoken about on the Transfer Exchange show,
Got me, you son.
What two players? I'll give you two. What two players would you sign for Arsenal and why?
Oh, that is a cracker. God, I might need 2 minutes to prepare for this one. let alone talk about them.
Realistic or not, or just any, or.
To be fair, like
I'll tell you how you could twist that, which is the question I was going to ask Jerome. Is honestly and realistically, same type of question. Which players, young players now at Arsenal, can you honestly see that you can see at the end of the season picking up a trophy, a league trophy, a title-winning trophy? How many? And who? Sorry, and who?
Which Arsenal players?
Yes, the young ones. Who can you see that's there?
Basically having a good career. We haven't been having a good career.
Picking up a trophy, that picture at the end of the season where they're standing with that trophy.
Okay. Who
can you see?
Obviously not for this season then. Just in general.
Not this season.
Could be in a two few years' time.
So he's still young. I think obviously following the game from yesterday, so he's fresh in the minds. But Martinelli, before he got injured, there was a lot of talk about him anyway. But when Arteta came in, he played him a bit, and then he didn't play him anymore. And a lot of the fans were thinking, maybe he doesn't quite rate him. And I think it maybe put some doubts into people's mind about maybe he isn't that great. But I think since he's come back, he's had a big long-term injury, and he literally looks. He's played two games. He looks like the sharpest player out there. And normally it takes players. I'm sure Nathan will know. It takes players, a bit of time to get back to full fitness. And he's just sort of hit the ground running straight away. And I don't think it's any coincidence that he played yesterday against Chelsea, and Arsenal are having more shots on goal, creating more chances. And a lot of it isn't even any mad technical play. It's just putting players under pressure and sort of effort and working hard. I think he's the one. And I think although yesterday was basically the first full game he's played, but Emile Smith-Rowe as well. I think he's got a big chance now, because Arsenal haven't really got that player at the moment that can play sort of just behind the striker. And based on yesterday, I don't think you can drop either of them, especially Smith-Rowe. So Martinelli and Smith-Rowe, I think they're the two. I think Saka's sort of a given just because he's played so much anyway. But,
I would. Yeah, the same. Yeah, I totally would agree with that.
You hijacked my question, and I still want my question answered.
I was giving him time. I was giving him time to answer.
I still want you to answer my question, Jerome. So someone else can ask the question. Jerome has got my question coming up afterwards.
I'll come out later.
Yeah.
Huh? Have you got one?
Jerome,
I'm next.
I've got one.
I've got a question for all of you.
All right, here we go. Go on. I'm ready.
Well, me? Oh, hey, I thought you said John. Right, you've got the power now, every one of you, at Arsenal. Do you bring Mesut Ozil back? And if you do bring him back, do you think he could do anything with Thomas Partey next to him and Martinelli?
I'll answer this one first. Like, do I bring him back for the last 6 months? Is there everything that has gone on previously, or is this like a clean slate bringing back?
Yeah, it's down to you. You can bring him back or not. I just want to know what people think.
This is a tough one, because it's like I think my point, the reason why I asked that, because there's obviously reasons to why Mesut Ozil's not playing. We don't know the reasons, but there's a lot of politics that goes with taking a player out of the team and then bringing him back in January. For me, that potentially could show a level of weakness on the manager when he was so adamant he didn't need him in the team, and then he's got 6 months left in his contract left. I think it's a get-out clause for the club. The club need to be buying a player and not necessarily pulling out someone from the reserves that they've got 6 months left in his contract. I don't see the need. Previously, I would have said yes, but it's just this: is he, isn't he? Lark. It's just, I just want it to stop now. I'm just done with the whole saga. Mesut Ozil is a brilliant player, but there's just too much drama that's going on, and I just feel like it's dragging the club under, and I don't think they need it. So now I'm saying no, just because of all the rubbish before the manager previously leaving him out in the first place. I don't think it works bringing him back now. Now that I've thought about it.
Well, first of all, I think a player like Mesut Ozil, I don't think it really matters who he's playing with. He's one of those players that's going to do what he wants, and he's going to play. He's one of these luxury players. I just don't feel it matters who he's playing with. As far as football ability goes, the last 6 months of his contract. Looking at Arsenal at the moment, okay, we beat Chelsea the weekend, but it's football. We don't know if that's going to be the way we're going to go on or it's not. I want to see him. I want to see him for the last 6 months, and it's not. I'm not an Ozil fanboy or anything like that. I'm just thinking of his ability and the possible ability that he's got, and what the ability he's got could help Arsenal Football Club in that position. Jerome's already mentioned Smith-Rowe. I think it would be ideal to have sort of an alternate Smith-Rowe, Ozil, thing going on.
I think Smith Rowe needs an Ozil. If I'm honest,
I mean, I for footballing reasons and what I've seen him do in the past. Yeah, I want to see him, and it's just that Arsenal. And if we had somebody in that position, then I'd say no, but we don't. So I would say yes, Simon. Yeah.
Nathan, sorry.
Me, if I was the manager and I came into the club right now, I'd be looking to play my best players. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care what's happened in the past. If he's training and he's training properly, I'm putting him in my squad. Simple as that. He's getting in my side. 6 months left, I don't care. I need to win games, and I need to win games now. And I need someone in that spot that can make chances for my players. Aubameyang, he's getting hurt because he's got no one putting them kind of balls. Lacazette, he doesn't score as many as he should be. No one to put them balls in. Don't cut your face, whatever you call it. Don't cut off.
Your nose off to spite your face.
So, end of the day, I know football. I've been in around football clubs where there's many players who want to leave, but they still play every week. Or they're not playing. Don't, I want to leave. Here's a new contract, sign a new contract. They're playing every week. Nobody cares. They're playing, scoring. They don't care. And then they leave anyway. It happened to me at West Brom when I wanted to leave because we got relegated. And I was like, well, you didn't even play me this season. And I'm already still top scorer. I want to go. The chairman offered me a new deal. And I said, listen, I don't want a new deal. I'll get money when I play somewhere else. But other players, they wanted to leave, signed a new deal, played, and then left anyway. And I was the one stuck still there afterwards. So it doesn't matter whether you want to go or not. It's what you're going to do on the pitch. At the end of the day, Ozil, he's one of the best central attacking midfielders out there. So you've heard Mourinho say it. He's been at Real Madrid for a reason, and other clubs that have been able to go and do that. So for me, he plays, mate. If he's still training well, he's playing. If he's not training well, he's not playing. Simple as that.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm not adverse to it. If they was to bring him back, I'll take him. It's just too much drama at the moment in this club. Jerome.
Yeah. I think I've how
many times have you gone back and forth on it?
Yeah, I've changed mine during the last 5 minutes. It started off as no, I don't think I would, based on he's leaving at the end of the season, and I would question like how motivated is he going to be to perform. If you get an Ozil at like 100%, then yeah, you'd probably take him back. But I'll tell you why I would probably put him back in the squad, because it'd be the last year or so he's played with crap in midfield behind him. So what would be interesting to see is how he plays with Thomas Partey behind him. Yeah. So that's probably a reason alone to put him back in the squad, because you know what it's like when you're playing with players that are better, you probably raise your game yourself. So it would be interesting to see how they could sort of link up and having that bit of security behind him. So yeah, I guess I probably would, but I'll probably change my mind in a couple of minutes again.
The thing is, I've seen. Someone sent me a video the other day of Arsenal tip tap, Ozil step over goal. I think I was speaking to Sai about it. Goal against Leicester, and I was looking at that thinking, "Cool, what's this? Arsenal 2015 or something? 2014? No, it was Arsenal 2 years ago. Emery Arsenal.
Emery, especially, yeah.
And you say, with a better midfield, Ozil was still doing it with that so-called rubbish midfield. It's probably just the way the manager's using them. And Ozil and the type of player Ozil is, they're very few and far between in especially English football at the moment, the way it's changing and trying to be more sort of, you've got workers at the top as well as creative players. They've got to have a bit of everything. Whereas Ozil isn't that. He's a luxury car. He's that car that you only drive on the weekends. That's what Ozil is. Now, if you want Ozil to be like a Land Rover up, and you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
It's a Ferrari. You treat him like that, but the Arsenal aren't doing that, and Arsenal are basically had their mindset that they can't afford to have players in the team like that.
It's also actually, if Ozil started the next game, is it really? Is it? And he started every game up until the end of the season. Is it really going to make a difference to our season?
I think it would. I think it would make a difference because
where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Champions League?
You wouldn't.
No.
You're struggling right now, so you could be in a relegation battle. At the end of the day, you need to get out of that and be in the top 10.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. You can't go no worse than what we are, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
But the one,
we know we won't, right?
The one thing I will say with Ozil, right? Because I've said it in WhatsApp groups. I don't want him back. It's like basically putting two fingers up to Arteta and Ozil gets his way. I know Arteta at the minute everyone says is the future, and that's what we think. Arteta is the future, but right now it's a result business. If you put Ozil back in, right, and he goes back to that Ozil that just in the under Emery, that basically, because everyone says Ozil was lazy under Emery and under Arteta and under Freddie, and not Freddie, but them two. And he wasn't. He covered more distance than any player in our team.
Is it not worth the state we're in and the position we're in? And you've got Mesut Ozil there. You're not going to get relegated. You can only go like a few. We're not going to get into Europe. We're not going to get into the Champions League. You've got Mesut Ozil, one of the best playmakers in the Premiership scene, and you've got him sitting there. I can't.
I think that was an unfair criticism that he wasn't working hard enough, because I distinctly remember, especially in games when he first came back, he played the first few games with Mikel Arteta. He's probably one of the hardest workers up top, but that's not what I wanted him there for. I've even done a video about it. I don't want Ozil running his socks off all day, because by the time he does get the ball, he ain't got that vision. He hasn't got that bit of extra composure, because he's breathing out of his arse. Like, I don't want that. Like, you want Ozil composed.
When Ozil played against Manchester United at the Emirates, he was the best player on the pitch. The way he controlled the midfield and he ran that midfield as well.
Like you were saying, Jerome was saying, that there's Partey behind him, and then with like Martinelli around him, and then Saka one side, you got Aubameyang. You got so many other players with quality, and then you put Ozil behind in there. I'm telling you, mate.
I'm hitting the rewind button. I changed my answer to bring it back. Bring it back.
But it's crazy though, because if you play Ozil, say you play Ozil and we score more goals, Aubameyang scores, Lacazette scores, Pepe scores, Saka scores, Martinelli scores, and you start having someone that controls midfield.
This is burning my chest, mate. Like,
I'm just saying, right? As it looks now, I think we're 12 points out. We're behind Everton, right? Off that top four, we're about 9 or 12 points away, right? Look at our next fixtures. We've got Brighton away, we've got West Brom away, and then it's Newcastle at home, and it's Crystal Palace at home. If you had Ozil in our team with Partey back, with Gabriel back, and obviously what Nathan says, instantly that's 4 wins in my view. Yeah. That's 4 wins.
Like, the thing is that as well.
Overwhelmingly favourite.
I'm not looking at Champions League. I'm looking at Europa League.
I don't think anyone is. And the thing is as well, what the problem is against some of the smaller clubs, they're sitting deep, and that's where we're having trouble. It's not when it's teams are trying to break on us and we're hitting them on the counter. It's when teams are just sitting in there where we haven't got that creative spark. We're not putting the balls through the lines as people aren't making them runs anymore. That seems to be the problem. When we come up against teams like Chelsea yesterday, like against Man United, we can run at them aggressively. We can take on their fullbacks aggressively, because we know these teams are going to come at us as well. It's the problem when we're playing against the Burnleys. And them clubs, West Brom is Sam Allardyce's team. These are going to be the ones that are going to struggle.
They're back, not even chasing nothing. Just like, come on, then.
Exactly. And Liverpool.
Did you watch Liverpool today? Literally trying to walk through West Brom.
Well, that's the thing. Liverpool are a team where
you expect us to do that.
Where Liverpool have got their players, where they do that, they press high, they run aggressively at players. that's what Arsenal are trying to build. Yeah, Arsenal are trying to do that. Where we haven't got that creative spark in the team, I worry more against a West Brom that they're just going to sit in and we're going to run out of ideas and start reverting back to what we were doing a couple of weeks ago or a week ago even, which is getting to the cross and it's just there's no pace to it. It slows down too much and it gets crossed in. It's like, to what? And it's nothing. It's not a cutback. It's nothing. That's what I worry about. But that's why I say we've got to continue this run and hopefully this Chelsea game is not just a one-off, but the way they were playing with confidence, it tells
6 months. 6 months is here for you. Might as well just use him rather than sat doing no.
I'm out of here again. What's happened there?
So how many have said adding back then? What's that?
Contacting aliens.
So how many of us have said adding back?
All of us now.
I'd have him back for 6 months.
All of us now.
5 of us.
5 out of 5.
Or you get a player in January that's like him.
See,
when you break
it down, you've got nobody like Mesut Ozil. Nobody like Mesut Ozil in Arsenal. And he's what we need. And he's exactly the type of player what we need. It makes no sense whatsoever. And it makes no sense. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but as I say, like right at the beginning of this, I'm going on this for footballing reasons, and for footballing reasons, I think there's no way he should be playing, or he should be on the bench at least.
It's like Nathan, if you were in this situation now and say Ozil, we'll swap Ozil and put Bruno there. He's had altercations with the club. They're not letting him play. They've given him his new contract, and it's too much money or whatever it is. What would you? Oh, he's muted his bloody mic.
Yeah, it's only because as soon as I unmute it, there's a dog whistle that goes off.
I can hear you.
Okay, it's back. Go on.
We'll take Ozil out, and this is Bruno Fernandes at Man United. Exactly the situation. He's gone.
He's playing him. He said it. He's playing him. He'd play Ozil. He said he's playing his best team. So he's playing his best team, man. Yeah. Oh God! Cheers for that question, Si. Totally took us away for about 25 minutes. Absolutely drained me of Arsenal talk, and brilliant. Very good question. Nathan,
Who's next?
I've got a question like a Nathan Ellerton question. Probably heard it many a time. Who was the best player that you played with and the best player that you played against? It's a golden oldie. Got to ask the question.
What position you talking about, though?
Any position.
Okay.
Nice question.
Can you hear me clearly?
Referee, linesman.
I can turn you up.
Hear me clearly?
I could turn you up. Hold on.
Because I've just changed to the iPad to see if this works better.
God, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
A lot clearer.
Yeah, you're a bit crackling, but it doesn't matter. The question you said was who was the best player I played with and the best player I played against.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a hard one because when you talk about best player you played against, obviously the best player in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo, up there with Messi, obviously. I played against him when we played against Man United, but I'm not actually directly playing against him. So I wouldn't really use that as the player I played against. The player I actually played against, defender, that it just stuck out for me was Sylvian Distin. The guy was an absolute beast. I scored 2 in the game anyway, but when it came to one-on-ones with him, anything I did, because I'm a person, like, when I play, like, I have, like, a big jump, yeah? So nobody was ever able to beat me in the air, like, to win headers, flick balls on. So I was like, at least I'll beat him in this. So the ball came perfect, and I was like, yeah, I got a perfect jump, perfect, take off, jumped high as I could, and I went to flick it on, and he's gone and won it. I was like, huh? How did he beat me? And then I'm running at him. I get one-on-one with him, and then he just wins it. I'm like, no, how's that? So then anything I tried to do, I was like, this guy's just stopping me. He's too fast, too big, too tall, winning in the air. I can't do anything. So he stuck out in my mind that he was one person that I was like, wow. But then whenever I watch him on telly, man, he was a great defender. So he's a person I played against who sticks out. And then when it comes to a person I played with, obviously I'm gonna have to mention my guy first, and then I'm gonna mention someone else. So Jason Roberts, obviously, as a strike partner, 100% the best strike partner I played with. Without him, I wouldn't have scored the amount of goals that I scored. Especially when he came, we scored so many goals together. If you pick the last 10 games, I think we scored about 7 and 8 in the last 10 games of the season before. Then I got 26 and he got 25 in the championship season. So we was totally blitzing it. So I really got to say he was the best strike partner I ever had, due to the fact that we were friends off the pitch, and on the pitch we wanted each other to score. It didn't matter which one of us scored. Chance came, we're putting each other in. Only the one time where I should have played the ball to him and he got mad at me. There's only one time we did speak for about a week. Apart from that, we really helped each other do well. But the one person, again, another person who, when I went to West Brom, person I grew up playing computer with him on the game for Nigeria. And when I was little, I was playing picking Nigeria and playing with Kanu. And then I become 20-something and I'm playing with Kanu. I couldn't believe it. And he's 27. I couldn't believe it. It's amazing. But the guy is just unbelievable. He plays at his own pace and he does everything where you think he's going to shoot. It's the same speed as you think as a fake shot. So you never know whether he's shooting or fake shot or anything. So everyone's always sliding. But then also, he can put you in. He can put you in whenever you make a run. You just make the run, and the ball's at your feet. He set up all my goals at West Brom. 99% of my goals at West Brom, he set them up. And it was when me and him played up front. I scored 5 in the league. He scored 5. Me and him were sitting on the bench one day going, how comes we're on the bench? We're top scorers for the club, but we're on the bench. And we had 2 strikers ahead of us who had about 3 goals at the time, having played double games of us. So we were just like scratching our heads, wondering what's going on. But yeah, obviously he just came from scoring them crazy goals for Arsenal down the byline and all of that. And he came to West Brom and he still had it, mate. He still had it. He don't even need pace to do what he does. That drag and the fake shot. It's just, you just can't like beat that the quality there. So you know when you watch a player like that, he just doesn't look like the type of player that would be amazing. But when you see him in the flesh and in training, it's just unbelievable. He sat down about 5-6 players and then the keeper one time faking the shot slowly like everyone's sliding and then he just puts it in the goal like, oh my god, this guy.
I watched him all the time when I was at Arsenal, his whole career at Arsenal, and every time he got the ball, I didn't have a clue what he was going to do, Nathan.
Exactly.
I had no idea what he was going to do. So I don't know how you got 5. You must have had some telepathic things with each other. So
I was starstruck in the Emirates Cup when he bagged an hat-trick.
He's amazing, mate. He's amazing.
Yeah, no, he's a quality player.
I wanted to ask you guys a question though, because the second time round I didn't get my question out yet.
Go for it.
So the
Jeff
question
Horsfield.
is. Okay. The question is, you guys at Arsenal, you say that you want to, obviously, you talk about the players that you want to bring in, yeah? But I don't know if you're being realistic. I mentioned a thing where if you're at a certain level, you're only going to attract a certain level of player. So you might need to look at the players around your level, the best of them, to bring you up to the next level, to then bring in some more players. Do you think you're thinking too highly of players who are going to come in? That's the question. Do you think that these players are actually realistically want to come to Arsenal over clubs?
Who are you talking about, Si? That you don't
I thought you were talking about when I said you have 3 players to pick for the squad. Who would you pick?
No, but if the players that you pick, if you think Arsenal should buy, do you think in yourself that you're being realistic with those players you're asking for?
That's the question. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Who are the players?
Lamptey from Brighton, 100% with Arsenal.
Yeah, agreed.
Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester. I know they're above us, but with Arsenal. And Wilfred Zaha. It'd walk to the Emirates.
All right, but that's
possible. I agree. I kind of agree with that. That is a possible. Ndidi, I think maybe would go.
I'm not being
higher.
big-headed. Wilfred
Yeah.
and Ndidi, yeah. Leicester City, they have a better team and a better squad than us. But Wilfred and
But you're
Ndidi and Leicester, we're Arsenal.
Yeah.
Live in London, Arsenal Football Club, biggest club in London. We may be 15th in the league, but we're Arsenal.
But saying we're Arsenal, saying we're Arsenal
Not the same
multiple amount of times would not make Arsenal up in the league or any better than we are right now. Like
No, but it's Wilfred and Ndidi. It comes straight to us.
No, wait. Wilfred and
I don't
Ndidi
know.
will be looking at his current situation right now. But Leicester were playing in the Europa League. They will be playing in the Europa League without doubt this season, and potentially could be playing in the Champions League. Would Wilfred and Ndidi really join Arsenal over a Leicester that could be playing in the Champions League?
Yes, 100%.
I
It
don't
would.
see that one. I don't see that
If you
one.
said, if I said to you, Kylian Mbappe, then I'm being an idiot, and I'm thinking FIFA. It's Wilfred and Ndidi from Leicester.
No, sorry. It's not about being an idiot. It's not about being an idiot. It's not. But I don't think you're looking at it the situation it is in the current present situation now. I feel like you're looking at it as a grand scheme of things as Arsenal as a club. Yeah, yes. But we're talking about Arsenal and Leicester now. Now, I'm not saying that Leicester are any bigger club than Arsenal, but in the current situation, where Arsenal have not been in the Champions League for 5 years now.
Well, it's the same as Maddison. Would he stay at Leicester or would he go to Manchester United? He's picking Man U all day long.
Yeah, but Man U's at a bit better level now.
That's so much
Man U are
different.
better.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If
Man
Wilfred
United are up
Ndidi
there,
came
we're
to
down
us, I know, but if Wilfred Ndidi came to us in January, right, and he went next to Partey, rather than next to whoever he is at Leicester, and you've got Lamptey from Brighton, and you've got Zaha. I'm just throwing Zaha in there because I said him. We don't really need him, but you put Wilfred Ndidi in our. We go up that table. We
You
go
will.
up that table.
In my head, it's not. Yeah, in my head, it's not.
I think he'd walk to us. I literally think he'd walk to us.
I don't think he would, because look, in my head, I'm not saying that Wilfred Ndidi is looking at Leicester and thinking that Leicester are a better club than Arsenal. I'm saying in this current situation, why would Wilfred Ndidi come to a club who's sitting in 15th? Why? Forget about like you're
Why
saying.
Why did Ben Chilwell leave Leicester then? Went to go to Chelsea?
Because Chelsea won the Champions League.
Chelsea are big club, mate.
Chelsea in the Champions League.
Yeah, and the Chelsea.
Arsenal are down here.
Chelsea,
Man United.
Chelsea will put in the Champions League in a squad where they didn't buy any players and brought through a lot of youth. Chelsea got into the Champions League. So for Ben Chilwell to go there, knowing full well that Chelsea can now spend and will spend with Roman Abramovich in the Champions League, then he's in a situation where it's more sort of desirable for him. If Chelsea were languishing in 20th in the league or whatever, it might be thinking twice, and especially if they weren't in the Champions League.
Well, Chelsea went in for Thomas Partey. They went in for him. They were inquiring about him, and he said no to Chelsea, and he came to us. Thomas Partey came to us, and Chelsea wanted him because they couldn't get Declan Rice. He could have easily gone to Chelsea and gone for a title and been in Champions League, but he chose Arsenal. See, I don't want our fans to get into this idea. I know what you mean, Kieron, but I don't want our fans to get into this idea where we're 15th in league. Nobody wants to come to us.
No, it's far from it. No, it's far from it. No, it's not that side. No, I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm talking about this current situation now. I'm not talking about Arsenal as a club. Forget that, because Thomas Partey joined an Arsenal team that were in Europa League. Thomas Partey joined an Arsenal team which would probably sold him a dream of we are pushing for Champions League football. That Arsenal team is not pushing for Champions League football this season. It's potentially not even pushing for European football this season. So the situation, if you ask Thomas Partey this season if he's joining Arsenal over Chelsea, are you 100% sure that's going to be the same answer?
Very difficult.
It'd be difficult. It would be difficult, but I just think with Wilfred Ndidi, I still think he'd go to us. It's like Brendan Rodgers. I still think Brendan Rodgers will take our job rather than the Leicester job, and that's not disrespect to Leicester. It's Arsenal Football Club. That's all I'm going on.
I mean, a project that you can get a bit further with, maybe. I understand. I can see your point with that, but the other side is maybe Partey's obviously he's coming because he knows they need to upgrade, and he's going to be a starter there, and obviously you can see the other bigger players around. It's possible. It's not like it's out of the question. I know what you're saying. I get what you mean. It's not like no chance, never. It is a possibility. There could be some reason why he wants to sign, and it's not too far off. So you could, but I still think it's more unlikely than likely, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can see there.
I don't see it as he'd walk to the Emirates to play for Arsenal. I don't see... And honestly, the longer Arsenal are in a situation where they're not pushing in these leagues, they're not pushing into Europe, the longer we're in this situation, the less desirable that will be for players for the right reasons. And it will be for the wrong reasons. It will be for just purely the money and London. And that's not what you want players joining Arsenal for. That's when Arsenal will end up being a mercenary club and we're being a massive state. Steve.
I think it's the way Nathan sort of explained it the other week when he was on the show, when he said you've got to buy players at your level and then you've got to move up and then to that level, then you buy players at that level and so on and so forth, like stepping stone. I think he's 100% right. You take Liverpool, again I mentioned it last week. Liverpool were in the same situation as Arsenal not so long ago. They had the 12th, 13th, 14th. They were trying to get every player in the sun. They were getting knocked back. What did they do? They went to Southampton. They started buying players from Southampton, picking players up here, picking one player up there. Why are they buying players from Southampton? Everybody's saying they was buying players from Southampton because they was the only players they could get. And they was taking the best players out of Southampton. They was choosing well. And they picked them and they winning and they started moving Liverpool up to the next step. And then after that, as they got a little bit better, they went up to that step and then they bought more players. These players that Arsenal getting linked with is laughable. Absolutely laughable at the moment. Zaha and Lamptey, I would say there's a chance that they come to Arsenal. Wilfred Ndidi, if I was Wilfred Ndidi, I've supported Arsenal since I was 5 years old. There is no way in living earth I would go to Arsenal. Why would I go to Arsenal at this moment when I'm playing in a side that could win going into Champions League? I mean, that you've got to be off your head. These are footballers with careers. They don't support Arsenal or something. They want to better their careers. And Arsenal in a situation at the moment where they've got to go through their kids and they've got to do exactly what Nathan said and buy players at a certain level. I mean, but even at a certain level, there's going to be players they're not going to be able to get. They've been talking about Jack Grealish. I'd love Jack Grealish. Right? We get no chance we get Jack Grealish. Not in a million years would we get Jack Grealish. And what I've worried about is from years and years and years now, I've said that Arsenal just keep buying every year two players, and got better every year. They haven't. And what's happened is you've got themselves in a situation to where they are now, where it sadly, in my opinion, could be, I hope not, but could seriously be unfixable. Because I'm worried. I don't see why I can't. If I was a football player, professional football player, I mean, Nathan might be able to answer it. If Nathan would he look at going to Arsenal at this moment in time?
I would. I would, just because I know there's an opportunity there for me to play, and there's other players around there that I know I'd go, you know what? I'd make that team better in the striking position. I'd score goals if Ozil was behind, or if Aubameyang's here, or if this player's here.
Yeah.
That's the way I'd look at it. They brought in Partey, okay, that's fine. They brought in Gabriel, okay. I know they need a few more in these places, but if I go there, at least I'll help them get a bit more better here. That's the way I'd look at it. Obviously, that's if I was at a club like West Brom or at a club like, someone's lower down, I'll look at them and go, But obviously, if I had Man United after me, Leicester after me, Chelsea, I'm going to them clubs. It's not a question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Would you go to Arsenal
If you had the other options? Not really, no.
Yeah.
But then again, the other question there with that is, if you look at the other team and you say, listen, am I getting in front of all them strikers? How much game time am I going to get there? No. Liverpool, I'm probably going to be on the bench all season. I don't want to be on the bench. Right. Can I go at Arsenal? Okay, I've got Lacazette, who's not doing that well. He's not scoring every week and everything. So I could get in there. I've got a chance. If I get in and score, they'll play me every week. There's every chance I can play every week at Arsenal. I'll be on the same money. I'll be in London where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. Let's say I've supported Arsenal all my life. Someone that might be like that might go, you know what? I'll take that chance over going to Chelsea because I'll play. So that's the kind of stuff you might get. You might get that one person who supported Arsenal all their life or something. And you get them joining them over a club that you would have thought.
But that's the only way you're going to get someone, isn't it? Like, realistically. The top,
because I think we're losing our French connection as well. With the things with Saliba and stuff. I think we're losing our French connection.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't a great place to be at the moment, is it, Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? And
it's not.
That's behind the scenes with the fans.
It's recruitment. Recruitment's awful. Recruitment's not been good.
Everything's up in the air. Do you know? I think, if I look at like all the crap that you see and what players get from, as far as Arsenal Football Club concerned, I'm a football player. I'm going, I ain't having that. So I'll go somewhere else.
I must admit, I still look when it's Arsenal. I still talk to people and go, "No, we're Arsenal. We're not going to get relegated. We're the third biggest club in England." I do still say stuff like that, and it's like me saying to Kieron, yeah, but the Invincibles. Nobody's still done it though yet, have they? So we're still the Invincibles. Nobody cares. What's that doing for us now?
The thing is, look, I'm not saying that these players wouldn't go to Arsenal. I'm just saying right now, Arsenal's not as desirable as what it used to be. Yeah. London or not, it's not. And that goes with everything that's going on with the club, whether it's the fans, whether it's the reports that are coming out of the club. You won't want to get involved in that. And if you do, it's probably for an ulterior motive.
It's the same as managers as well. Say Arteta and Frank have both gone today, and Allegri has to pick between Arsenal or Chelsea. Yeah, he's picking Chelsea all day long.
Yeah, and as well, even Brendan Rodgers. Why would you pick Arsenal over Leicester when Leicester are giving you the players that you want? You're hearing Mikel Arteta has to sell players to get players in. I didn't sign up for that. So it's another one where it's like you'd think the manager would go there, but then again, Brendan Rodgers turned us down previously. So why would he come now?
Yeah, I do know 100%. I know this as well. That Brendan Rodgers, the Arsenal job, has always been his favourite job. He's always wanted it as well. So I do get that.
If you look at the Brendan Rodgers and clubs that he's been to before, they've said many a times that ask him twice and he'll take the job. Leicester done it. He done it for Celtic. Like, ask him twice. He wants to be wooed. He wants to feel wanted. That's all it is.
If another manager comes in, Brendan Rodgers be getting the same type of stick and whatever else, the same as Arteta, the same as Lampard, the same as
it would, because there'd be people that would have wanted Allegri. There'd be people, and that's the problem with our fan base. It's very I want, and you got to move away from that because it's got to be what's best for the club. On that note, thank you very much, Nathan, for coming in. It's the longest you've been on. And a bit of fun in the old Q&A. Gave your own questions. And what a response with the likes of your best player, who you played with, and who you played against. I thought that was a quality answer with Cano. All right, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers, Nathan.
Nice one. Thanks, Nathan.
Some good See you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
You can change that name as well, Kieron, from Simon P.O.'s 222567.
Yeah, you've got to change that. You've got to change that.
I've changed it.
Can we have some suggestions for Simon's new signing name for Twitter? Boat McBoatface is gone.
Wolves have equalised.
Who are they against? Who are they playing?
Spurs.
Oh, all right.
I know they're bubbers. I come against Tottenham.
Let's take a couple of questions from the comment section. Seeing as I said I'd do that. Boom. What we got? Evening, everyone. Peter G, how you doing? Hey, Simon tweeted a few months back. Oh, look. Simon's changed his Twitter. So his Twitter name is going along the bottom. There we go.
Simon Powell 87.
Simon Powell 87. Go and find
Standard.
him on Twitter. Messi wants to remain at Barcelona, does he?
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
They ain't done the elections yet. The elections ain't gone yet. So
yeah. What do we think about? All right. I'll go to Jerome on this one. What do you think about the Saliba situation, Jerome?
Oh, it's such a mess, isn't it? I think for me, he's just got to play. So it doesn't look like he's gonna be playing at Arsenal this season. So I'd get him out on loan and do my best to make sure he plays somewhere. We've said it before. I think that Arsenal, it's one of the, although it might not seem it, it's just they've really made a big pig's ear of this Saliba situation. And also what we can't forget is Arsenal stopped him playing in the cup final last season.
Yeah.
So they stopped him playing in the cup final, and now he hasn't even played for Arsenal. So on every, you can go through it, and I feel a bit sorry for him. But to be fair though, as an Arsenal fan, it's a bit slightly concerning that he hasn't played at all, because Arsenal's defensive options aren't the greatest. So you'd think that he'd have at least played a little bit, but for him to not even be in the squad is a bit concerning. But look, he ain't 25, 26. He's still very young, so there's still plenty of time. And he's obviously very highly rated. So not the end of the world. Yeah,
I think that's one of a big thing is the fact that he is still young. And if you even look, Arsenal, for the position they're actually in the league, they've actually got not a bad defensive record either. The problem is they've been conceding one per game. We're not been scoring. They've conceded 19 this season, which is probably about in the table, probably about 5th or 6th best in the league. And in that time, they've lost. They've conceded 3 goals against Aston Villa, and was it 3 against Liverpool? So that's six of them 19 goals have been against 2 teams. So Arsenal's defence actually hasn't been that terrible. But go on.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably not the case, but I'll say it anyway. Maybe Arteta's looked at it and maybe Arteta thought, you know what? My team this year, they're not all my players. We're not very good. I don't want to be throwing an 18-year-old into our into our defence this season.
Yeah, for sure.
But if that's the case, they should have got him out. Got him on loan straight away. But maybe he's thought out. So he thought, you know what? I don't want to play this guy out. Midfield ain't the best. The other defensive options aren't amazing. So I don't really want him to play, and that could be the case, perhaps.
Yeah,
you can't play him next to Gabriel though as well.
Thank you. Do you think it's fair that you're paying a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old who haven't played in the Premier League before next to each other?
No,
you can't do that. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine?
Unless you played 3 centre backs.
Yeah, but
2 wing backs.
You can't do it. You can't play a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old who have in there. The thing is with Gabriel, his career didn't start off too great. He went to Dynamo Zagreb, didn't work out. He played a season elsewhere in Europe, didn't work out. So he's been through some bad times. He's been he's had to toughen up and he's playing in a different country, not from England, not from Brazil. He's playing in a different country as well. So he's had to sort of learn from his mistakes, learn in different ways, and he's come through that and he's become a better player, and he will progress as a better player while he's at Arsenal. William Saliba is only young. He's only just learned. He's a pup, mate. And playing and coming into the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. Playing under Arsenal is a different kettle of fish, and playing under our fans is. Could you imagine? William Saliba has a bad first 6 months. He's written off.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Can you remember Rob Holding against Liverpool when we were waiting for a defender to be brought in, and Wenger chucked in Rob Holding? It looks like he didn't know what to do. Mane was twisting him. Coutinho was twisting him.
But look at the players you're saying. Mane and Coutinho. You're talking about Mane's
Adam Lallana.
Mane's a Premier League great. Like it's no small feat. And another player for Arsenal, Callum Chambers. Callum Chambers, when he first came to Arsenal, was brilliant. First 6 games, got into the England squad, and then it was like, then the pressure was too much. We didn't have any defensive cover for him, so he was played. So he had to be played through the bad times. That did him no good. That did him no good. We didn't have any options because we didn't buy anyone in. We didn't have anyone there, but he was a young defender and he'd done well at the start. But he didn't even play that many games for Southampton as he did for Arsenal in a row. Right? So you just can't put that pressure on these young kids, and they're just destined for failure. Thank you very much for that question, Goodwin. I'll take one more. Simon, this one's for you. Is Kroenke going to back Arsenal in January? I'll let Steve answer this as well. Go on, Steve, after Simon.
It's literally like a broken record saying this. It's only a thing though, right? If you look at with Emery and you look at Wenger's last 2 years with Arsenal, you look at when Emery came in, and then you look at Arteta. KSE, since Stan Kroenke has owned 100% of Arsenal, they've backed Arteta. Not like big shiny players or anything like that. He wanted Willian, and he were telling the board, get Willian, get a 3-year contract and all that. He got Willian. He wanted David Luiz to stay. He got David Luiz to stay. He wanted Gabriel. He wanted Thomas Partey. He didn't get Aouar, because obviously we'll not go into that discussion because it gives me nightmares. I'm fed up of it. But then you look with Arteta and stuff like that, he has been backed. Just because he hasn't rolled up to the Emirates in a bleeding white Scirocco and just gone 500 million, there you go, spend it. He has been backed, Arteta, in the summer with what he wanted. Arsenal wanted to bring in their own recruitment team. They wanted to bring in their own coaching staff. Arteta has been and picked his own staff to work with. You've seen the Brazilian guy from PSG now that's finally come in, who looks like the Incredible Hulk. He's here. Arteta wanted him. He wanted the fitness and physio coach from Bournemouth. Arteta got him. He wanted the goalkeeping coach from Leyton Orient and Gillingham. He got both of them. So Arteta's getting what he wants. So yes, they are backing him, but just because they're not throwing 500 million and saying, go get Mbappe, go get Messi, that's just stupid. Arteta's not like that. He has his set players, he has his set routine, and he knows exactly what he wants.
So based off of that, you're saying everyone we got in the summer was everyone we wanted to get?
That's what Arteta wanted.
If that's back,
he didn't want any more than what he got.
No, he wanted Aouar. He wanted a creative midfielder, but obviously with Thomas Partey, and then you look at the players that refused to leave because they would not leave unless they got nice, big, shiny wages elsewhere. No. That's not down to the manager's fault. That's the recruitment team. That's Arsenal's board that's saying to someone, we want 15 mil for Mustafi. We want 10 mil for Kolasinac. Socrates has got 6 months left. We don't want to let him go for free. We want at least 5 mil for him. Be realistic. No wonder he had his hands tied. But yes, since Kroenke has owned 100%, KSE and Josh Kroenke, and not much Stan, but Josh, have been more hands-on. Stan Kroenke is irrelevant. He has nothing to do with Arsenal. Josh Kroenke, for me, is the one that looks like he's taking this forward because he's constantly there all the time. I don't care about Stan Kroenke turning up and cheering on Arsenal at the Emirates. Couldn't care. Not bothered. All I want to know is that they're actually backing the manager, and they've proven that.
You have proven that you can bamboozle anyone with an answer, not answer the question, and still...
Yes, the Kroenkes are backing Arteta. They own 100%.
Still didn't answer the question. Still didn't answer the question. You should be a politician, sir. I swear to God. Go and
no, I can't stand any of that rubbish.
How did you not answer that? You spoke for about 5 minutes there. You didn't even answer the question. Steve, short turn.
He says yes. He says just yes, I'm leaving.
Is Kroenke going to back Arsenal in January.
I've watched football for a long time, right? And if Mikel Arteta's came in and he's come in and said, I want William, I want Gabriel Nusli, and that's it, then that's it for me. Football, I'm done. I'm done. Excuse my language. I'm done. I am absolutely done. I am done. There's no way he's backed him. Roman Ivanovic came in, backs Chelsea, gives them everything they want. They go and buy 4, 5, 6 players. Bang, 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 bang. Tottenham, bang, 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 bang. City, bang, 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 bang. Man City, Liverpool. I could just go on and on and on. I want William. I want Saliba. I want my own staff. That's backing him.
Where's Emmy the boy Saliba?
What a load of old arse. How is that backing him? Backing a manager? If Arteta's came in, which now I don't believe he's done this. If Arteta's came in and said that's all I want, then I've not. Then sack him.
Sack him.
He's gone. And I've never said that about any manager for Arsenal or any other manager, but sack him because not for the fact that he's football, the fact they better go and get someone with the white coats. Right?
You've set him off now, Matt Williams. Cheers.
Go and get someone with the white coats. Right? Go and get someone with white coats. Because if Arteta thinks that that's all we need,
he's lost it.
Kroenke's not backed anybody for 10 years. Why was it? And we got William on a 3 years. Did you just hear that? Just say that. Let me say that.
Look, come on, man. That's an easy sell. That's an easy sell for Kroenke. That's an easy sell for Kroenke. Kroenke would have watched William play, for Chelsea, and especially the last 6 months of his contract at Chelsea, would have watched him. Free transfer would have gone. I'll give him an extra year. Don't worry, I'll give him 3 years. If he plays like that for half the time, I'll give him a contract. It costs nothing.
If Kroenke has backed him, right, then we're in serious trouble. Just give up. Just give up. Just give up now. Because if this is Kroenke back in Arsenal, and this is our manager happy with what he's backed us, and he's got what he wants, are you kidding me? Are you having a laugh?
There we go. What a response. This is what we're in it for, people. Thank you very much, Matt Williams. And he just said,
I'm turning my WhatsApp
in
off.
January. Simon didn't answer my question. Thank you very much.
Have I actually answered any question today?
Simon has answered brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Simon has managed to not answer one question. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's quickly have a little quick one.
Is it? I wanted to go. I had more.
No. I'll tell you what.
That's why I'm turning my WhatsApp off.
It's not done. No, it's not done.
I'm only.
No.
Come on.
It's not done. Because we've got to answer this question. Who's next in line for the chop? Obviously, look, we don't like talking about this conversation, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. We've got the likes of Mikel Arteta under pressure at Arsenal, sitting 15th in the league. Won against Chelsea yesterday. Barely moved up a spot, but still gathering points in the league. Is that enough to keep him his job? We will soon see. But in my head, surely that is enough to show to keep him to the next game with this nice run of games. Obviously, in that as well, you've got Chris Wilder sitting bottom of the league, only 2 points this season, just lost to Everton. It's only going to get worse for him, surely, especially considering you spent 26 million, your only budget on an 18, 19-year-old striker who's barely played minutes this season. It's madness. And you have to add Frank Lampard in that as well. We spoke previously about the fact that we've been told through very, very, very good sources that Frank Lampard's time at Chelsea is under scrutiny from Roman Abramovich. If he's not shown in January, by the end of January, that is a serious title push. In and amongst it, then there's a big chance that he could be going. Especially if you look at the most recent run of results in the last 4 games, he's only picked up 3 points, dropping points to one of the bottom. out of form sides in the Premier League, in Arsenal, and conceding 3 goals against them as well. It's not good times for Frank Lampard, especially considering they were sitting second in the league only a few weeks ago. Now they're sitting 7th in the league. It's not good reading for him. And
Chris Wilder.
We just said Chris Wilder. And obviously we've got the likes of Slaven Bilic, who's already gone. Sam Allardyce has come in. On the other end has come in. Will he have enough to save West Bromwich Albion and keep his record of never having a team relegated? Boys,
as he survived tonight, he took a point.
He's taking a point off of champions Liverpool. It's not hard. It's not easy, especially away at Anfield. This is only a quick one because we want to get onto the transfer roundup, of course. But who do you think's next in line for the chop, Jerome? There's a few candidates there.
Yeah, you know what? There's probably not as many candidates as there normally is because a lot of the teams that you thought might be struggling are high up the table.
Yeah.
The only manager that I think he might not be in danger immediately, but they could be looking for a new manager anyway, just because of his age, really, is Roy Hodgson. Palace could get sucked into it. Yeah, he's one that hasn't probably been mentioned, but I think if they get sucked into it, then potentially he could be next in line for the top, perhaps. But other than that, I mean, Fulham are in the relegation zone, but you sort of expect that.
Yeah.
West Brom again, actually they've just changed their manager. Sheffield United, is the obvious one. But other than that, obviously Brighton are down. Yeah, Brighton are down there, but I don't know. He seems to be. They're playing quite well. Like the football's quite nice under.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why they got rid of Chris Hughton was because they didn't like the football. But it's a results business, and I know like you want to see nice football, but eventually, surely the Premier League survival is going to be the most important thing, and sometimes he may have to compromise on the way on his style of football to win some games. I don't know, but the one problem I see with Brighton is the scoring goals. They got 2 today. They conceded 2. But they had a lot more chances than just the 2. They need to start finishing their chances. And if they do that, then I could see them going up the table. So I don't feel like they're... I think that's a false... I think Brighton could potentially be in a false position. And they're a team that if they was to get a striker that could bag some serious goals, you're talking about a team that could easily push the top half because they play football and they can get chances against teams. They've got good players and they've got quite a good scouting system where they don't necessarily get the best, but they're getting the up and coming, the players that other clubs might not go for. Players that clubs are going for now, like Yves Bissouma, who Liverpool and Arsenal are looking at. So yeah, it's a tough one. Steve, who do you feel that's the most in danger out of them lot?
Yeah, I mean, Jerome's right. It's a weird one this year because when you have a look at the clubs in danger at the bottom or trouble going down to the Championship, you look at clubs like Sheffield United, but then again you look at their manager, you look at Chris Wilder, and you look at him as sort of part of the furniture. And I feel was that even if they did go down, that he would stay. They wouldn't sack him, and just for that reason, and the same reason for Burnley with Sean Dyche. I mean,
yes.
they're hovering around that area, and again, you would be worried normally, but exactly the same thing as what I said about Chris Wilder. Sean Dyche, sort of, part of the furniture at Burnley. Mm-hmm. I feel that again, if they went down, they would stick with him. I was going to say Roy Hodgson could be the first to go, and it's not so much that they're in deep trouble at the moment. It's just due to the fact that Roy Hodgson, over the last few years, as keeps on being in trouble, then survives. You know, he's been hovering in and out of getting the sack over the last 3-4 years now, or or maybe around about that amount of time. And I just feel if they go a little bit lower, Roy could be the could be the first one to go. The teams in the middle of the table, I can't see anybody getting a sack there. You've mentioned Frank Lampard there. He spent a hell of a lot of money. We did the Chelsea show and we spoke to Daniel when I said that I don't think he would get the sack unless they dropped out of the European places. And so there's a good possibility there just due to the fact that the money that they spent. So for me, I think Frank and I think Roy have got to improve a little bit.
Yeah, I think what the thing with Frank, it's all well and good saying because this was a lot of people's fault is that because of what Frank did last season, he's going to get a bit of leeway. The problem is with Roman Abramovich, he doesn't give you time to make up for the mistakes that you're making. So if Chelsea are looking like they might not get into a European spot or they might not push for that title challenge at least, then the Roman Abramovich will just cut ties. He won't think you've got to get this back or you've got to buy this. It will just go, okay, I don't like the run of results. Boom, let's get in the next man. Because he's ruthless like that, and that's the blueprint they've had.
But the thing is as well, Kieron, is that the Chelsea remit works. It's not a great remit to have, especially if you're the manager. But what they do, if a manager's not doing the business, they will sack him. He won't, and then they'll bring someone in. And most of the time, they'll win the title, and then that manager will eventually finish 8th or 7th, and then they'll sack him. They'll bring someone in, and they'll go and win the European Cup or win the title again. So Roman Abramovich always is looking at a remit that works. So he's got the reason why I worry about Frank is that for that reason, he's going to think, well, if I get rid of Frank, I'll get someone in, and. I'll end up with that person will end up winning me a trophy, like before, like it's always done in the past.
Yeah, and like you said, that's the thing. It's many people will say, why don't Arsenal do the whole sacking and firing? It works for Chelsea, but the thing is that Roman Abramovich will back the next manager and clear out the dead waste that's left from the previous manager. We've just seen Chelsea spent 70 million on a goalkeeper. For 2 seasons later, they've gone out and bought another goalkeeper, and that £70 million goalkeeper is sitting on the bench. Yeah. That is backing a manager. That is backing. Backing a manager would have been to turn around. Okay, Martinez's situation was different because Martinez wanted to leave because he wasn't promised that he would start that first game, so it's different. But I don't feel that Arsenal would have kept Martinez, even if that was the case that he was happy to stay, because Arsenal, I don't think would have turned down 20 million from Aston Villa. I just don't see it. I just don't see him doing that. So yeah, it's a tough one for me. There was talk of Mikel Arteta is going to get sacked. That was only in L'Equipe a couple of days ago. I don't. It doesn't make sense. Or was it yesterday after the game? It didn't make sense to me. But I personally think the one who's most in danger is potentially Frank Lampard. Just because
killing me fonder here.
Just because the dramatic dive from 2nd spot to 7th spot in the matter of 2 weeks or 3 weeks is massive, and that's the kind of thing that will get you sacked at Chelsea. It's not gradual. There's been a downturn in something. Something's gone wrong, and someone like Roman Abramovich will look at that result against Arsenal and not be happy with that. Will not be happy. So I think the next game could be very important for Frank Lampard.
That Chelsea team, when you go from 1 to 11,
shouldn't be 7.
That should be beating Arsenal, shouldn't it?
It should be a tough.
If we're being
it's down to Frank Lampard where they are.
It should
100%.
be a
That's
title
why.
contender.
See, that's exactly. See, that's the worry. You think if you're Roman Abramovich, you're looking right. Well, I've got Mendy in goal. I've got a back four that's decent. I've got an unbelievable midfield. I've got a forward line that does score goals with Werner and Abrahams and Zajic and Pulisic and all this. Why it ain't clicking? Why have I got all these fantastic players, this fantastic squad, and we're sitting 7th? So it's a worry, mate.
Yeah, and I think like if there's someone like Allegri sniffing about, I don't think it'll be too long till Roman Abramovich gets in someone. It's no disrespect to Frank, but Allegri's a serious manager. Allegri's not an up and coming manager. It could be because Arteta's not in that. So it's not. This is not a Frank Lampard thing. Allegri's a serious manager. You're talking about Champions League finals, 2 or 3 Champions League finals. You're talking about 3, 4 Serie A titles. Like he's a serious, world class manager.
I can answer this question.
That is what Chelsea will try and get in.
I can see him at Chelsea. You know, he just seems right for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the Italian, because they've had a lot of Italian managers in the past, didn't they? Chelsea, Vialli, Matteo, and I don't know what was the other guy that's recent. The guy, the one that smoked. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they've got this link to seems to be Italian, so Allegri.
Yeah.
But just one thing. I mean, do you think it's like, you know, we've just named 2 English managers, Roy Hodgson, Frank Lampard. I mean, it's a shame, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, but I think someone like Frank Lampard will get another job and another good job. The job that he's done at Chelsea, I don't think he's done. I think he's done an all right job. I think at any other club, he's given time, and it's not even a case of we're even having this conversation. But this is Roman Abramovich. Like this is Roman Abramovich, so he's very cutthroat. And I think I just think that right now, I think that Frank Lampard will be very much on a game per game situation, and very much so depend on who he's dropping points to as well.
See, if I'm a betting man, I'm sticking 50 quid on Frank Lampard to be sacked from Chelsea. Because like you said, Jose Mourinho, right, was loved by Chelsea fans, absolutely loved. And when he first went there, results didn't happen, he chopped him. Then he brought him back, it went good again, chopped him. Fans were absolutely angry.
Absolutely.
Don't care.
So
Absolutely.
if I'm a betting, see with Frank Lampard, I don't think he's done anything for Chelsea since he's been there. I think he's literally done nothing. He did nothing in his first season. Let's be honest. Chelsea were plodding along in the league. Leicester was their closest challengers. Man United were nowhere near. When you've got Lingard in midfield, they get Bruno and they pulled a string of runs together and they picked him on the final day. They did nothing in cup competitions as well. Yeah, they played us in a final, but once basically we took the game, their best attack was Mason Mount. He spends 250 million. He has Havertz, he has Werner, he has Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's been linked multiple times to Bayern Munich, and not once since he's been at Chelsea that they've looked absolutely irresistible and they've looked like they've clicked this season.
Zajic,
at all.
That's it.
If you look at Kai Havertz, and I feel sorry for Havertz because he gets a lot. He gets a hard run, Kai Havertz, but he's not being played at number 10. He sticks him on the wing. You can't stick a player like Havertz on the wing. It doesn't work. He sticks Werner on the wing, but plays Tammy Abraham up front. Sorry, Tammy Abraham's rubbish. Nowhere near a Premier League striker. I'm sorry, I know people like him because he's English and all that. Sorry, no. Olivier Giroud plays against Arsenal on Boxing Day. They win that game. And that's what I mean by these situations. And you look at the defence as well. They're not, I won't even say Chelsea have been amazing defensively this season. They've been lucky. They've got a perfect midfield and they've got the strike force to get them out of trouble. When they play these lower league teams, these low block teams, Chelsea's defence don't have to do anything. There's a reason why Mendy's kept clean sheets. Yeah, he's pulled off a few good saves, but there's a reason why he's kept them. Because Thiago and Zuma and Chilwell and all that lot, they don't really have much to do defensively. Attacking, Chelsea are brilliant to watch going forward. They score some unbelievable goals. They make chances. Werner as well getting a lot of stick this season. But you're just expecting it all to click. And that's the thing with Lampard. He's playing too many players out of position. I watched every single Chelsea watch-along for our game, and they were all saying the same thing. Why is Havertz not playing in the number 10? Why is Werner being taken off, but Abraham stays on? Why is Mason Mount in midfield when Kovacic does a better job? And this is the thing with Lampard. I watched him at Derby County. He took Derby from 6-6. He did nothing. He bottles winning the championship. Derby's squad was the best squad in the championship at that point. They just didn't have the good manager. They got to the final of the playoff. They were lucky in the semi-final. And then they got to the final, went 1-0 down. They only turned up in 85th minute. And Lampard brought on another midfielder next to Mason Mount. And they started playing on 85 minutes. And I've spoken to a few Derby fans as well. And I talked to them, obviously, on my old Twitter account. And even they were saying the same thing. Oh, we liked Frank Lampard. He had good football and stuff like that, but his tactics are just not there at all. For me, he's not a Premier League manager. I'm sorry if that's harsh, but he's not. And Roman will get rid of him. Roman will cut him and think twice about it.
You know when you're playing the strikers, though, when you've got the strikers, do you play the strikers that score in the goals?
You want to say?
You know when you play, do you play? I know it's a silly question. It's you play the striker who scores the most goals. I would assume. Yeah. You
should play Giroud, and you play. For me, you play Giroud.
Which means Werner's benched.
No, Werner stays on. No, you play Werner. No. You play Werner on the wing.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying it's right and it's what I would do. But he's not scoring the goals. Abrahams and Giroud have scored more goals than Werner this season.
I think he's trying to move. I think he's got Giroud in there that's doing the business, but he's trying to fit in an Abraham to keep him happy.
My point is because of Werner, when they bought Werner and he wants Werner, is he trying? Is he? Some manager have got the bottle to say, no, you're not doing it. You're not scoring the goals. You're going to have to go and be dropped for a few games. And he's not doing that. where you've got Giroud who's scoring and Abrahams who scores sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will say though, I gave Lampard a lot of credit in his press conference after the game when he went in on Werner. He went in on certain players that weren't tracking back. They weren't playing for the team. And Chelsea fans will look at that and go, oh, God, here we go. Players are going to turn. No, because that'll actually help your players and try and build them up because you're not mamby-pamby them. And Frank Lampard's been like that all his life.
Yeah, this guy's been managed under Pep, under
Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho. So he's had all the mind games you can get. Ancelotti's some of the best managers about. So he's had all the mind games you can get with regards to is he soft or is he hard enough? Like he's seen it, and he's been up there with the new age players as well, so he knows how to manage to a certain extent. So I don't think he'll have a problem with that. I just think he's probably overwhelmed with too many options at the moment. Last season he had no options, and he had to fit in the squad, and he had to fit in the right players for the right team. Now he's got too many options. He's trying to square pegs, round holes, mate. We know how that goes down. We see it on a weekly basis.
I think I'm putting Frank just in front of Roy. I think after our conversation, I think
he's in serious trouble. I think he's in trouble.
I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at Bilic.
What as
a replacement? Not Chelsea, but like your Crystal Palaces, maybe your Sheffield Uniteds and stuff like that. They might look at Slaven Bilic and go, well, we'll change our manager and get Slaven. Because he was doing all right for West Brom.
Allegri's to be the one for Chelsea. That's the one they'll do one.
Yeah, I don't know who Crystal Palace are going to be looking at. That's a tough one. They tried to go with the new age manager, and that did not work. 14 losses on the trot. So that they can't go down that route again. Anyway, we've got to move on. Jerome, give us. It's time for the Guardian Top 60.
Can you hear me? Okay, boys.
I can hear you. Oh,
Yeah,
you did a
cool,
teleportation
okay.
thing there. You was like sitting here. The next thing you know, you was there.
Okay. So
He went off to go in another room to practice his voice, like exercises.
It's fine. Go.
I'll
look, I'm
fly
here.
through these quickly.
And now I'm there.
We've got so we got two 17-year-olds today. The first one is a forward called Wilfred Gnotto. He spent his whole youth career with Inter Milan, and bit of a strange one. He ended up moving to FC Zurich in Switzerland in April. Basically, in the search of first team football, he made his debut for them. He plays for the Italian youth teams, and he was actually top scorer for them at the Under-17 World Cup, even though he wasn't in their initial squad. He's quite short, very stocky, a bit like Shaqiri, 5'7", and he's sort of very strong dribbler, weaves in and out of players, hard to knock off the ball. So that's him. Second player is a guy called Luca Oyen, again another 17-year-old attacking midfielder who plays in Belgium for Genk, and again has already made 9 appearances for them so far. Now, even though he plays for the Belgium youth teams, he was actually born in England. His dad used to play for Nottingham Forest, and so he was born while his dad was playing for them. He's seen as a very sort of modern attacking midfielder, excellent vision, operates at a high speed, and he's contracted at Genk until 2022. He recently sort of extended his contract there. Very intelligent and a hard worker. It's like lazy comparisons to call him like the next Eden Hazard purely because he plays in like the same position and he's from Belgium. But yeah, he's playing regularly at 17. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that, Jerome. Thank you very much. Keep an eye out for them names. Jerome's the guy when it comes to the youth players. Transfer roundup time, people. It is the transfer roundup. Here we go. Been a good one today. Plenty of comments in the comment section. Please make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, why not? Do it. Now, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to press the subscribe button. If you didn't hear me, that's 5 seconds to press the subscribe button. Boom, let's go.
1,000 likes and we don't talk.
Let's take a pause. I like that. Let's take a pause. Take a pause. Press it. Subscribe. Press like and press share. Boom. Let's go. Everton are preparing a new contract for France left back Lucas Digne. Man City are said to be among a number of clubs interested in the left back. He's a quality left back and he's been brilliant this season as well. Manchester United are in talks to sign Ecuador midfielder Moses Caicedo. Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's he saying?
Oh, blinding player. Absolutely blinding player, yeah. He's only turned 19 last month. He already plays for Ecuador's full national team. Very, very powerful central midfielder, little bit like a Pogba. When he defends, he looks like a defender. When he attacks, he looks like an attacker. Like he can do it all in central midfield. He's not just sort of one or the other. Very exciting player. If United get him, then that's a cracker. That's a cracking signing.
Yeah, they're in talks with the club. It's early doors, very much early doors, but Man United are in talks. I think Chelsea and Manchester City may be looking, but definitely Chelsea are looking as well.
They're picking them up, aren't they, Manchester United?
Yeah, they seem to be buying for the future, which I can see what they're doing now. Before, it's a bit of a worry that they were sporadically buying, but it seems like they've got a bit of a structure to their buy. Jerome, get a little shout out there. and then there we go.
That's the Arsenal scout, yeah. Kajagao.
Jerome, hype. I know Arsenal fan wants to see this, Broads. Big up Broads TV. Go and give him a like, give him a subscribe, give him a follow. Top guy, my good friend from Arsenal Fan TV FC. Good, very good player, non-league player.
We'll come to Balogun later.
Liverpool have joined Manchester United in the pursuit for Aston Villa midfielder James Grealish, according to the Mirror. David Alaba update. Real Madrid are leading the race to sign David Alaba in the summer. West Ham and Leicester are among several clubs in the Premier League interested in Burnley centre-back James Tarkowski. There's loads of clubs after Tarkowski. I don't know whether this feels like his agent might be putting out something because like usually you'd squash it or something like that, but it's been left open. All I'm hearing is clubs are after putting in bids turned down, but it's not going to be too long until he's on his way, surely.
Yeah, I've obviously spoke to someone today on Tarkowski, and they both parties want to do the deal as far as West Ham and as far as Tarkowski goes. But it goes back to the same old thing that the West Ham have to sell, and it'll all depend on Declan Rice whether he goes or not.
All right, thanks for that.
He'll go.
Yeah, it seems like that. There's quite a few clubs after him, so and it just seems like it's probably the next move. Burnley needs some money. Burnley needs to sign another player. It's about time for their fans.
I think if you had to have a favourite in January, who's going to go? Declan Rice could be one of them.
Yeah, Declan Rice is top of the list.
Yeah,
I think.
All right. Leeds are interested in signing Wolves winger Adama Traore, with his future at Wolves in doubt due to lack of playing time. Ooh, Leeds. Mustafi's agent has confirmed that he had held talks with Barcelona about a move, but the moves has not progressed. Mustafi wages issue. Barcelona aren't offering the wages that Mustafi would offer. Would want to go to Barcelona.
No,
the move ain't happening.
He's looking for 70. He's looking for 70k a week, isn't he? And he wants a 3-year contract.
Barcelona can't offer that money. If you think about it, with the wage reductions that Barcelona have made their players take, if Mustafi was to go into Barcelona with 70 grand a week, he'd be one of the top earners. He couldn't do it.
His agent did talk to Fenerbahce, but same thing.
What money?
All about money, and Fenerbahce certainly can't afford them, and I don't know. It seems like Barcelona are on the same lines at the moment.
Yeah,
but they're all wanting to go to these clubs that actually have no money, and they're expecting to get contracts of 120, 70k a week.
Well, that's because they're going on free transfers, and usually when you get a free transfer, you get a bit of the money that you would have done if you would have bought them on a transfer. But the problem is everyone's coming out of a global pandemic where they've not had fans in the stadium for over a year and a half, and they've not got no revenue. So everyone's struggling.
I can't expect second party and third parties to get together and club the money for Fenerbahce to get Socrates or Mustafi. Ozil, yeah. But
what's happening is agents are chancing their arm.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to someone now who's well in with the agents, and he tells me that they're trying to chance their arm. You know, it's not a matter of now players that are the clubs going to them. The actual agents are going to the clubs. And bringing them if they think that they need a player.
Yeah.
We all know. I know for a fact that Phil Jagielka's agent phoned Arsenal.
Yeah,
he got a knockback, but his agent was doing the job.
Yeah,
he done the job. He's seeing open. He thought, well, probably no chance, but I'll give it a go. And that's what's happening with the two players that we just mentioned. The agents are just chancing their arm because of the where we are at the moment and the state of the country's in and the money, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah. And it's not going to be the last one of these most random offers to clubs that you'll hear. Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane wants to use Vinicius Junior and Isco in a swap deal to bring in Juventus forward Paulo Dybala Bala to Real Madrid. But Isco is very keen on the move to Arsenal. There's a lot of talk about Isco is joining Juventus and it's a done deal. Steve, have you heard anything on Isco's Juventus move being a done deal?
No, there's nothing about it. Isco don't want to go to Juventus. Isco wants to go to Arsenal.
There we go.
I was going to say something then as well, because I saw that. So I asked my guy and he says it's rubbish.
Yeah, this is what I mean. There's a lot of talk where people will say that Isco is the Juventus deal's done, but I've asked many a time, and we've got a very good Italian guy, and I've asked many a time. I've asked Steve many a time. Is there anything in this Isco going to Juventus like as done? Because there is talk with Juventus,
No,
and there is talk with Arsenal, but the talk of any deal being done for Isco to Juventus is far from the truth.
And Real Madrid, like you just said, wants players to do what players don't want to do.
Yeah,
so they're in a situation. But Vinicius Junior doesn't want to leave anyway.
Yeah, Vinicius Junior wants to stay at Real Madrid.
He wants to stay. He's a young kid. He don't want to start going off to other countries, and especially the Italian league.
Yeah. That's the last place Vinicius Junior probably wants to go.
Exactly.
He breaks the abuse every other week.
That's not the place you go to sort of.
No, it's not.
Germany, okay, Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund, it probably jump to that, but to go to somewhere like Juventus to further your career as the age that he is.
it's a tough one as well in Italy. Like it's not the most of attacking leagues. Are you there free to express yourself when you're going to a Juventus? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Liverpool have beaten Manchester United in the race to sign Celta Vigo defender 16-year-old Stefan Bakatic. Arsenal lined up Mauricio Pochettino as a replacement for Mikel Arteta if results did not turn around. Thomas Tuchel then got the sack, and PSG put everything in place to bring in.
They acted quick
to PSG. It could well easily be that PSG had got word or the sniff that Arsenal had held talks with Pochettino, and they made that move. It's a bit odd that sacking came at the end of after a 4-1 victory, wasn't it? Tuchel just got PSG to the final of a Champions League, something that PSG have not done previously. There could be other reasons why they're getting rid of him as manager. I don't know, but it did seem like a bit of an odd one. So yeah. There's no deception with regards to us putting out that news that Arsenal had lined up Pochettino. It was just bad timing that it came out. So it is what it is, but we move on. Leicester continue to be linked with Marseille winger Florent Thauvin and President Jacques-Henri Ndu says that he could be leaving in January. Atletico Madrid are weighing up trying to sign 23-year-old Arsenal defender, midfielder, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Didn't they say that after the whole Thomas Partey thing that they don't like us anymore? So how are you going to do a deal with us to get one of our players? Plus, you already got Torreira, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle trying to hold on to him when you have got no deal in place to sign him on a permanent. So you've got to put your pride aside if you want Arsenal players.
And he's not coming back in January. Is that either Torreira?
How are you going to sign a player on a season-long loan and say you can have him back in January? Don't want him. He can bugger off and keep liking Mesut Ozil's fake pages. It weren't Mesut Ozil's page. You got done by a snide.
It is true though. It is true that Atletico don't want Torreira, but they want to keep him for the rest of the season in case an injury pops up, and he's there he's there as a body. It is true that they don't want him. They don't rate him at all. It doesn't match. What I've been told is that Torreira doesn't fit what Diego Simeone wants, but they don't want to send him back to Arsenal because it could help us after we did what we did to Partey. with them. So what they want to do is they want to keep Torreira till the end of the season, and if an injury happens in midfield, he's just there, basically, as a body. So I feel sorry for Torreira, but that's how it goes.
It ain't the way to run a football club. It ain't good, is it?
No, it's not.
Question there is Isco still top notch? Not just in name. Good question. Not just in name, but is he still a player?
KS1. If I say KSI.
Who's that? Through.
Isco. Is
Isco still a player? I should get the marks to do a scouting analysis on him. But Steve, is he still the player that was there before, or is he just the Isco name?
Yeah, I mean, he's someone that he will lead Real Madrid, and recently he has been playing a few games, and he has been getting back because he's been getting fitter. He had put on a lot of weight because he's going to go to another club. He has lost.
He needs that motivation.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and he has lost that weight due to the reason that he's going to leave. He's a sub. He's on and he's off. So he ain't. I don't think he's doing this, to stay at Madrid. But when he's on the ball, you can see the class that the guy's got. The only thing I've got it's the deal, it's the money, and it's like what Jerome said last week. We've got more. Maybe we have more chance of signing Cisco Kid than Isco. I don't know.
More chance of signing Isco, the Cisco than Isco.
But it all goes down to this money thing again. I just wished I could sneak into Arsenal and see a bit of paper and see that how much we got to spend in January or something.
Yeah, it always comes with something. Final manager Dick Advocat has ruled out a move for Everton and Turkey striker Cenk Tosun. Napoli will listen to offers for Spanish midfielder Fabian Ruiz after talks stalled on the new deal. John, what's Fabian Ruiz saying?
Oh, I like the look of this player. He 24 centre midfield. Yeah, does a little bit. So he's been with Napoli since 2018. He actually signed for them from Betis for about 30 million euros. Spanish international, left-footed. The way he plays reminds me of Adrian Rabiot of Juventus. Quite an elegant midfielder, technically very gifted. He's got a bit of a shot on him as well, but very sort of cultured central midfield player. I think if he does leave there, I think it'll only be to sort of enhance his career because I think he could play for a top club. This guy.
Oh really? All right, yeah. When I put that out, there was quite a fair few comments with tagging other clubs saying, "Get him in." Manchester City midfielder Phil Foden is a target for Real Madrid, who believe they can exploit the situation for the frustrations of Foden due to lack of playing time. We've spoken about this previously. Steve had spoke to a very good contact he's got at Manchester City, and they'd said that Pep doesn't fancy Foden as much as he may say. There's a lot of unsure whether he's can do it on a consistent level, can do what he wants him to do. What I will say is it's going to upset a lot of Man City fans if Phil Foden was to go. Steve, give us a little. I know you haven't said you got an update, but give us a little Phil Foden update.
Well, first of all, we go back to the summer when I asked the guy from Manchester City. He said to me that Phil Guardiola didn't fancy Phil Foden. This was at the time when Phil Foden was flying. So it was a bit tongue in cheek. When I came on the show to mention it, and I think because I wasn't sure, didn't know enough, believed it myself. But the thing is, he keeps on playing him on and off. And when he does play him, the guy is just total quality. I mean, the goal he scored the other day when he played was just, absolutely incredible, unbelievable finish. And he does that every time he plays. But for some reason, just Guardiola doesn't doesn't fancy him. He doesn't play him. He doesn't play him week in, week out. We keep saying that he could take over from David Silva, but he seems to keep going out and buying other players like Ferran Torres, and Foden seems to be just sitting on the bench. So, so Real Madrid have
You don't see him as a Silva. You don't see him as a Silva, that's for sure. You don't see him as a Silva, because if he sees him, he's missing the Silva, and he's not playing Foden in that. He's not playing him in a consistent basis instead of Silva. Ferran Torres, I think he sees him as the replacement for Sane, maybe. But it's one of them.
I spoke to a guy today, this afternoon. Again, this is from a Manchester City blog, and he basically said that there's rumours and things going around talking that Guardiola simply is not a great fan of midfield players being English. So, and I'm trying to think as I'm talking, that is there any English players in his midfield and up front? And there isn't, is there? Whether that, everything clicks in. I mean, if they just don't seem to fancy him, he won't play him, will he? He just simply won't play him.
It's a bad one.
There's
always room for you at Arsenal, Phil.
Yeah, of course there is. Damn right. You play every week.
Always room for you at Arsenal.
You can play it on the 23s.
Arsenal's first team was split by the exclusion of Mesut Ozil with a group of senior players supporting his reinstatement. Will it happen? Doubt it very much. I can't see it. I can't see it.
So just had a half an hour conversation on it.
Yeah, so the players have to get over it. Like, they've got to get over it. Like, this sort of news is, I don't like it. I don't like this sort of news. Why? Look, okay, a player's not in the team. It's a player's not in the team. That's fine. You feel like he should be playing, but like what is this nonsense? Like,
it's sat at home like that now, lad. It's the pyramid of evil.
It doesn't make sense.
What it's like.
What is it? What is it? Just quickly. Why is he not playing? What is the main? Not 4 reasons. What is the one specific reason why Mesut Ozil is not starting in that, or is he not in that squad?
Comments about China.
What?
That's what I think it is.
That's it.
I'm not saying he's not wrong to do that. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want anyone thinking that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You're a footballer.
That's your one main reason why you think that he's not playing.
Yeah, you're a footballer. You're not a politician, but you are entitled to say your piece. But at least speak to the club before doing it.
Well, I think Simon may be very, very right, but for one,
it can't be financial. You've just given Aubameyang 375.
But it can't be financial because he's not getting paid. He's not getting paid. Like it can't be financial.
Yeah, he's not getting paid 350.
It can't be. If it's financial, why is he at the club?
Yeah.
Why is he at the club? Send him to Fenerbahce and pay half his wages. They could probably cover the second half. But there's no. Why is he at the club if it's financial? I just think. I think somehow he's wound up the board. Him and his agent. I think it's just got a bit messy.
They'll still use him though. They'll not send him out. They'll still use him because he makes revenue.
Certain numbers, and advertisement and whatnot. Because he has to do it. He has to be on them posters and stuff like that.
But I don't know if you've heard or you've seen, but this was quoted by Edu. Or whether I'm just a little bit far behind. But Edo and Vinay quoted that the reason why Mesut Ozil wasn't playing was all down to Arteta's decision.
It's an easy cover-up, though, isn't it? You're not going to come out and say we're not playing.
Said that,
that's what I mean. We're not. It's not. They're not going to come out and say no. The reason Ozil's not coming is because of his comments on China. That just looks bad on the club. And then everyone knows then. Oh, you're just taking him out for the sake of that? And then it's like, what do you mean for the sake of that? It just starts everything.
What I'm saying is that was a quote. That was a quote from Edo. A quote.
But then what? Then what
It's
are,
an easy
what-
thing
what-
to do,
what-
that.
what are-
That's an easy thing to
What
do.
are Arteta's reasons then?
That's why I asked the question.
What are Arteta's reasons?
That he's pissing about in training. I don't know that he ain't putting it in.
I'm
Well,
not having that.
I can't see that he's pissed around
No,
in training, you know, because
Simon,
like,
I'm
could you
not
see
having it
anyone
either.
else having that?
But I don't know what else it could be.
No, I'm just saying. That's an easy cover up though, because then you can turn around and go, see, we are backing him
Well, the thing
because
is-
look, it's
the thing
his
is-
decision.
Yeah, because the thing is, he's already come out and said that. He's already come out and said it was him. So for them to change their mind on that would be very a bit messy. I don't know, man. This Mesut Ozil thing. This is the problem. This is what I don't like. This is what I
He was
don't
playing
like.
already for Arteta, and he was already putting in performances. So I just don't. It's them comments. That's what I'm saying.
It seems, he's not in the European squad either. It's almost like he play in the European squad, absolutely smash it up, and then everybody go, well, he's got to play, isn't he? He's got to play on Saturday.
Yeah.
Look at the way he played against Dundalk.
Against Mold.
Smash it, yeah.
Look at the way he played
That's
against
it.
the
And then,
Yeah.
obviously, with his comments, what he said as well, you put him in the Europa League squad, you're going out and playing other clubs in different countries, that sort of thing as well, if you get what I mean, with his comments.
John,
Somebody
what do you
else in
re- what do
another
you reckon it is,
country
John?
might not like it.
But you're the man of reason.
Yeah, I don't think anything to do with football reasons at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be. I think that's impossible.
Yeah, it is. I think it is impossible when you've got no creativity whatsoever, and your technical director has turned around and said there's no creative spark in the team. They're missing a creative spark. Yeah, that he said it himself. Yeah, Willian isn't the player that we bought. Well, he didn't say it in that way, but he basically said Willian hasn't hit it at all, so he needs to step up. And he's saying, other than that, there's no creative spark. We need to go and buy that. So as a technical director, you allowed the new manager, to come in and say, no, definitely no creative spark by taking Muzu out of the equation. Technical directors, that's what you're there for as well, to make sure that the manager doesn't look stupid in the long run when he makes decisions like this. Are you sure? No, brother. Are you sure? No,
You better point,
when I say,
Kieron.
are you sure? I'm putting it in the team because I don't think you're sure. Because by taking Ozil out of the team, you are wiping out any chance of a fullback, of a backup in a position, someone getting injured, like certain players that we haven't brought in, that we know we haven't brought in. You tried to bring in Hossam Awar, you couldn't get him in. So in the meantime, play Ozil there. No, you sure? No.
You're going out with the fire
having
engine. You're going out with the fire engine. It's the water in it.
Are
you sure?
The more I think about it, I don't know if it's the Chinese thing, may well be, and what Jerome's just said, I think they're spot on. It can't be for football reasons. Can't be.
But again, I need to check the China thing. I need to check whether he was actually taken out. Comment section. Was he taken out of Pro Evolution Soccer? I can check afterwards because I've got Pro Evolution Soccer. But was Mesut Ozil taken out of Pro Evolution Soccer? Because that was one of the main things. Arsenal and Man United.
Yeah, because it was in the trailer. It was in the trailer.
Arsenal and Man United. But I'm talking about the game. No, he's not. He's not. I know for a fact he's not been. Well, the 2021 he's not been because he's joined Juventus in my game. So yeah, so he's not. He's still there. And Man United and Arsenal are the only Premier League clubs that have actually given their rights to Konami on the Pro Evolution Soccer. So I will double check it. But I don't think he has because I'm pretty sure I saw him signing for Juventus on my game, which made me think it might happen in real life because they love freely.
Gerard, research guy, do it now.
research. Right, research. Wolves might turn to Real Madrid striker Luka Jovic. Or Divock Origi from Liverpool. That's massively contrasting. But one's well out of form and one doesn't get much game time. But I suppose if you need I'm going for Jovic all day long. I'm taking the risk that he couldn't have dropped that far off. Just the wrong move.
I'll take him.
If you don't get Jovic as well, go for Eddie Nketiah.
Well, Eddie Nketiah is actually valued at 18 million. Checked it out yesterday. Tottenham
You're
are
not gonna get
interested in
that for
signing RB Leipzig midfielder Marcel Sabitzer. Arsenal are putting their focus on Borussia Dortmund midfielder Julian Brandt.
I don't
Jerome,
want this.
have a little look. What are you saying?
What do you reckon, Si? No good, Si?
No, it's like Emil Smith Rowe. Emil Smith Rowe's better, in my opinion.
He is. He's like I think this guy Julian Brand. He is very similar to Emil Smith Rowe. The position he plays, the way he plays on the ball, he's quite stylish on the ball. I would say he's just a more polished version of Emil Smith Rowe. He was he's only 24 still.
But you said polished version. You said Emil Smith Rowe's better.
He is better. Emil Smith Rowe is a better player than this guy.
Yeah,
he is 100%.
Jerome, it is better.
That's a big shout.
It's a big shout.
It is a big shout.
It's hard to. I don't know. Smith Rowe's played one Premier League game, and this guy's played like for Germany. He cost £25 million from Bayer Leverkusen in 2019. He was a regular for Dortmund last season. Like, he's just played so much more football. But I can see the comparison. Really, he's brilliant at connecting the midfield to the attack. Hovers all over that sort of space in between midfield and defence, and can go to either wing as well. And I think he's still got lots of potential. This guy,
how old is he?
24.
All right. Thank you very much, there, Jerome. And Arsenal striker Florian Balogun is attracting interest from Liverpool and a host of Bundesliga clubs. There was a recent post that I saw the other day where people were losing their mind because Balogun had commented on a post for Curtis Jones, and he'd put two hands, and Curtis Jones had put crossed fingers. And because of that, people have made the assumption that Balogun's signing for Liverpool, and that he said that meant done deal, and Curtis Jones fingers crossed meant fingers crossed it's a done deal. Well,
just a done deal apparently.
Yeah, one said done deal, and the other one says finger crossed. Maybe Balogun was saying to Curtis Jones, something different. Agreement or whatever. As Curtis Jones just signed a new agreement. I don't know what it is, but stop losing your mind over nonsense, people. Like, and if Balogun does sign for Liverpool, so what? So what? Like, it is what it is.
I'll be gutted, don't get me wrong, but so what?
It's not. We've got to stop. Just putting these people on a pedestal. Got to stop.
I'm scared of him leaving and being the next Didier Drogba. That's my fear. Is that good?
Well,
he's got raw potential.
We will see. We will see. He's got a lot to. He's got to get into the Arsenal team first. And the thing is, what I say about the whole Liverpool thing is, all right, cool. There could be linked to Liverpool, and he could be interested in joining Liverpool. What makes him think he's going to get more time at Liverpool than he would at Arsenal?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
What makes you think that by going to Liverpool, okay, you might be going to Liverpool because right now they're in a much superior position and will probably stay there in and around that for the next 10, 15 years because that's how these cycles work generally. And if you slip out of it, it's very hard to get back into. But I'll say it again, Liverpool will link to Jeremy Doku. Liverpool will link to Mbappe. Liverpool will link to... people all over the place, top strikers. Yet Patterson Daka. Yet Florian Balogun's going to go to Liverpool and get straight into the Liverpool team.
He's not going to further his career.
I don't think. I don't think it's as cut and dry as thinking just because Liverpool are after Balogun, he's going to go, and Arsenal aren't giving him any opportunities. The kid's just come out the under-23s. He's played 2 games in the Europa League. He's still got players ahead of him, and he's still getting game time. Like, I just think the people just jump in the gun. And as I said previously, if he goes, he goes. Like, there's no guarantees that his potential is going to be fulfilled, and especially if he goes to Liverpool, how often is he going to get game time there?
I know you've got what's his name? Are you expecting Origi just to go out and then Balogun to take his place?
Yeah, but what? But how often does Origi get games?
No, I think he came on at the end of today for the last He came in the 90th minute, I think. for Firmino, and that was his first appearance this season.
There we go. So look, I'm not saying that Balogun's not going to be a top player. I'm not saying that Balogun's going to go to Liverpool and push for a starting spot and set the world alight. But what I'm saying is stop getting all irate and hyped up about comments and emojis.
Sometimes what people have got to do, listening there, sometimes put yourself in the head of the player, and not what you're hearing or reading on what somebody's put or somebody's liked. Put your head into the player and then work out what makes sense. And Balogun to go to Liverpool to further his career makes no sense.
Yeah.
So
and look, Nathan said it earlier. I might be in this club here or this club there, and I'll be looking. Will I get game time at Liverpool? Will I get game time at Manchester City? Will I get game time at United?
Yeah.
He's the best place to be staying at Arsenal. I mean, people are probably worrying because he's not signed a deal already, but Saka didn't sign a deal when his contract was coming up to an end. This is how youth contracts work. Like they sign a deal, and then they've got to wait. They usually wait until the last year of that deal to sign an extension on it anyway. So, like, just look, stop worrying. And like I said, if he goes, he goes.
Don't worry, be happy.
Exactly. Thank you very much tonight. Top show, I felt. Good laugh with the questions and answers. Top questions there, boys. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for the comment section. I'm going to give a little shout out to Lund Burkamp. Thank you very much for joining us, Lund Burkamp. Cool guy, AK. I see you all the time on the Twitter. Thank you very much there. Peter G, it's our boy Peter G. Thank you very much, Peter G. Glenn Cook, how you doing? It's a regular Glenn Cook. Goodwin, it's my man Goodwin. How you doing, Goodwin? Zaymar, I think I saw you earlier. Thank you very much for joining us. A new face there, Zaymar.
What did that say? I think I just saw. How come you haven't been something?
No, yeah. Zaymar, how come Simon hasn't been updating his pages? Because he's got a new Twitter page. Simon, give him a shout out. Let him know where you're at.
Yeah, if you go on Twitter and type in Simon Powell 87. There we go. Obviously, what I did on the old accounts, people just can't handle truth, and that's it. Let's just leave it at that.
That's how it works. Yeah, look, I love that. People can't handle the truth. It's Simon truths. It doesn't mean it's the truth. All right. Bradley Barrows.
I'm learning on this one.
Thanks for joining us. And I'm losing my hairline on this one.
Put picture of.
I'm gaining. At
the end of every day, Simon, just put a picture up.
That's my hairline. Look,
some flowers and a river and some.
Tranquil, Saint Tranquil. Listen to some whale music.
Saint Tranquil.
Very good. Matt Williams, thanks for joining us. We got a nice little shout out earlier from our boy from New Zealand. Where is he? Hey, there we go. Love that. Big up, Chef Steve. Jezza. Oh, he's giving us nicknames. KS1. That's kind of my name anyway. The chef is sticking with it. Hey, look, it's stuck. Hey, it's stuck. The chef. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't say chef on new one.
Jezza. Hey, Jerome's now Jezza. Yes. Jerome is officially
nice Christmas.
Now Jezza. Thank you very much.
Wait till the fictional characters start being made.
Yeah, don't worry, we will. We're going to have fictional characters. We're going to get some avatars made. Don't worry about that. It's going to be happening. Broads TV, giving them a little shout out. Pedro Neto. Yeah, we should get Pedro Neto. Arsenal. All things Arsenal. Thank you very much for joining us today. New face. Loving the comments in the comment section today, guys.
If you ain't subscribed, boys. Come on.
Love that. Well said, Steve. In his most East End way. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe, boys and girls. Get in
otherwise,
there.
Otherwise, I'll send the boys round.
There we go.
And you don't want Tinky, Winky, and Bella coming at your door.
Melvin Marks, thank you very much for joining us, Melvin. All right, and I think that's about it. Cindy Ray, there we go. And I think that is it for everyone. I think we've done them all. We had Oliver joined us up there last minute. Thank you, bro. You all have a nice Christmas. Thank you very much, Oliver.
Have a nice Christmas, Oliver.
Thank you very much for joining us. All right, Jerome was here, but he's having a few technical difficulties with his internet. But thank you very much. Have a good Christmas and a happy New Year. We will see you. I think it's the 3rd we see you, and the transfer window will be open. And hopefully by then we will have some top exclusive news. We're going to be doing a lot more lives during this transfer window. We're going to have guests throughout. We're going to have experts from all over the world. Experts for as soon as we hear a bit of transfer news and it's in a different country, we're going to try and get an expert on to give us a breakdown of the players and give us a little bit of information about the move as well. There's lots of things happening with the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and tell everyone else to get involved as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Stay safe. Peace out. Messed it up. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands. There we go.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.